guys, let's go ahead and get started.
Yeah, we have an awesome session today. Let's dive into it.
Yeah, so Alex is down in the Scottsdale, Phoenix area. He's a good friend of mine. We've had a couple of battles at TPC Scottsdale on the golf course, but in reality, like he's just an excellent entrepreneur when it comes to real estate. He's done some really cool stuff. I'll let him tell you a little bit about himself, but he's done some stuff on the listing side prior to coming to work with us at Real that was kind of state of the art in his market from a marketing standpoint, and he really thinks outside the box, and I think it's been something that has benefited his business. And so we felt like coming back off an off week, let's really hit it. We're all experiencing our March or spring markets. We're going to see more listings coming on board. And Alex just kind of has a systematic approach that has benefited him and his partners that we felt like would be really great to expose all of you to. So Alex, why don't you kind of tell everybody a little bit about your background and then get into your training.
Yeah, for sure. Good morning. Super happy to be here. What's up, Angie, by the way? Excited you're here. I'll make this good for your team. Yeah, guys, so my background is I'm a listing agent. This is what I do. I've been in this career for about 14 years, and I think today's call is going to help you regardless across the board. Okay, so who's today's call for? It's either if you're a team leader and you want to have a better way to teach your agents how to get more listings and actually close those appointments, I'm going to give you the roadmap to do that, because I can relate to you. So I've been in the business for a while. I've done everything from be an administrative assistant to a buyer's agent to a listing agent to REO, short sales. And I've ran teams. I've been a brokerage coach for a few years as well. And as Joe said, I did do some unique things before I was at Real, which is I worked for a disruptor. And a lot of people don't like those companies. I worked for a massive real estate disruption company. Some of you may or may not have heard of it. And it was great for a couple of years. Then it had a little bit of a shift. And that company was called 72 Sold. And I was one of the founding people there when there was like 20 of us. And what I learned was to think differently about the way we do listings, the way we market homes, the way we show homes. So while that was a good chapter and I left that chapter behind, what I took with me was thinking differently on how we do listings, not just how we go into an appointment, but how do you actually manage a listing? How do you sell those homes? And that's the biggest thing. The reason we had so much success there is we took everything that you would do traditionally as a listing agent, we threw it out the window and we said, we're going to do the opposite. And the result was consumers really liked it. It was selling homes better. It was making it more efficient. It was kind of putting the consumers first versus agents first. So here's kind of how today's call is going to go. The first section, I'm going to give you my 10 traits that I like to teach my agents on how to be a better listing agent. The middle section, I'm going to give you the roadmap of what it looks and feels like to be in a listing appointment with me. I'm going to give you some really cool things to say when you're in front of a seller to not only impress them, but to connect with them on a deeper level and kind of put a fence around you and the other agents. That's my goal, is that when you leave the call is you're going to be able to put a fence between all the other agents and you. And then lastly, because Angie said she's doing a challenge at the end, I'm going to give you my best tips and tricks on how to get more listing appointments. Okay. Sound good?
Awesome.
Cool. So because I have a short amount of time, I'm just going to go cliff notes on this. If you guys have questions, just go ahead and type them in the chat or save them for the end, because usually this class takes me a while. In fact, this is a 6-week course, basically squished into 45 minutes. So let's rock and roll. Okay. The 10 traits that I'd like you to have if you want to be a top listing agent. By the way, right now I carry 22 active listings, or between active pendings. I have 9 more in the pipeline. So I'm not just a team leader. I'm actually still in production. I still do this. So this is actually what works right now. I have 9 more listings hitting the market. I have either 21 or 22 right now across the board. Okay. So number 1, control what you can and let go of what you can't. You got to put your energy on the actions and release the rest. There's a lot of stuff that you can't control as a listing agent, right? You can't control what other people are going to say, do, what other people's pitches are. You can't control a lot of other things that come. But the best thing that I've learned is control what I can and let go of what I can't. There's a lot of things that I can control as a listing agent, which is my actions every day. I can't control it if other people are saying things about the market or making decisions
Celebrated
based
all
on.
weekend, thinking it was this
I
weekend.
think we got a little echo there coming.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, again, number one, control what you can, let go of what you can. I've really had to learn as a listing agent to focus my energy on just actions on moving the needle forward every single day, trying to always put it in my head. Always, always, always. In fact, my goal that I teach my agents is one new piece of business a day. Just one new piece of business every day. And forget, there's a lot of stuff that happens in real estate. There's a lot of things that stress us out. Inspection reports go bad and appraisals come in under value. Other agents drop the ball. Things happen, right? But if you want to be a consistent person who lasts through the market conditions, you got to control what you can and let go of what you can't. Number two, you have
Well,
to
Alex,
embrace. Yep.
really quick, how much on that? How much do you limit the information of things you can't control to flow to you? I just
Oh, big
remember,
time, yeah.
like, you know what I mean? Because like, if you're just digging into Inman articles every day and keeping current matters and going on lab coats agents and getting mentally beat up, then it's impossible to not go like, well, I guess no one's selling right now, so why am I going to do the work, right? And so what you're talking about is even blocking some of those outside influences and just doing what you know you need to do, right? Because
Actually,
if
yeah,
if
that
we
is
ingest
phenomenal
negative
advice.
information, what's that?
Yeah, that's phenomenal advice. I do that. In fact, I'm very much generate a lot of business from social media, but I've unfollowed a lot of people over the last 6 months that I like thought I was supposed to follow because I don't know, either they're part of my world or my network or whatever, but I just don't really like what they're saying and it doesn't resonate with me. JR, yeah, stay out of those Facebook groups, man. They're not good. But
Well,
yeah, I don't really pay attention.
there's a massive difference between being educated and being deflegicated, like
Mhm.
deflating yourself through education. It's like, oh, I guess no one's doing any. Like I do the same thing. One of my favorite songs by the Imagine Dragons is "I've Got No Time for Toxic People." So if
Mhm.
anyone or any organization or any news outlet or whatever makes me feel anything other than motivated, excited, like hyped about the future, you could call me naive, but I just don't. I unfollow them. I unfollow people. I unfollow news outlets, whatever, because like, what good does it do for me to get negative education? And so, anyways, I don't want to spend too much time on this, but guys, if you've noticed, like, you wake up and you read your news articles and you go like, I don't know, the whole world's falling apart. Why am I going to do my calls today? Why am I following up with clients? Or you get on the phone and you're like, you're just not hyped. They're going to feel that, and so you have to limit the negative influences.
Agreed. Yeah. Super, super, super good advice. Love that. Number two, embrace discomfort. It's not, is it a really easy market right now? I don't think so. I think it's challenging. I'm saying it's challenging, and I sell a lot of homes. I do a lot of deals. I'm not just somebody who is a coach. And yes, I have a team of 24 people, but I'm still living in this market with you. So you have to embrace that discomfort. You have to lean into the market and lean into the challenges and let them make you better. When I say let them, just surrender to it. Stop fighting it and complaining and for lack, excuse my language, bitching and complaining, but just surrender to the market we're in, lean into it and let it make yourself better. There's two types of agents right now, and we are crushing it. I am selling a lot of homes, super profitable because I just was like, okay, let's just ride. Let's just figure this out. Instead of all this internal resistance, like, oh my gosh, like Joe just said, rates are high, nobody's buying, inventory is rising, my listings are sitting at 60, 70 days on market. Okay, we'll figure it out. Stop it. Just stop it. Just lean into it, embrace that discomfort. And then what happens is, guys, if you can embrace that discomfort and start to whittle away some of the processes that you don't need anymore or make some changes, you're going to be a better listing agent when you come back out of the other end of this. And it's already moving. We're already moving quicker and quicker. So that's the exciting thing is you should be looking at your processes as a listing agent right now and thinking, okay, there's got to be something I can do better. There's got to be a better way to sell homes than just putting on the MLS, Zillow, posting your little social media video tour and holding open houses. There's got to be a better way. There's got to be a better way to show homes than just putting in a lockbox and waiting for showings, right? There's got to be a better way. These are
Yeah,
the
it's
things that I challenge. Yeah.
embracing the discomfort to find the people who are going to do the thing that you hope to be a part of. So
Mhm.
it's like there's this danger to tie point 1 and 2 together in us feeling like we need to have a really compelling argument why someone should buy or sell right now. And that's such a, pardon my, like, don't take offense, guys. This is such a stupid way to practice real estate. There are people who are going to buy and sell right now. To go back to Phil Jones, people do things for their own reasons, not yours.
Mhm.
So your job is not to come up with some compelling argument. Your job is to do the hard thing, embrace the suck, to find the people who are going to buy and sell in April 2025 and go through the discomfort of finding them. Don't worry about convincing them to buy or sell because they're not going to do it because you want them to do it. No one's going to spend $700,000 because you come up with some creative way to finagle them to thinking interest rates are good right now because they were 7.5 in 1983. Like, that's not going to get it done. People are going to do it anyways. So limit the outside negative sources, number one. And number two, embrace the sucky part of it, because the sucky part of it is not talking people into doing things they shouldn't do anyways. The sucky part is weeding through all the garbage to get to the people. I'm not saying people are garbage, wading through all the hard things to find the people who are going to do it anyways with or without you.
Totally, totally. Exactly. You guys got to embrace the discomfort. So we're going to move through. I'm going to pick a couple of my favorite ones because I really want to spend some time on the actual listing appointment, my talk tracks, which is going to feel like if you've ever gone bowling and you put up the bumpers so you don't throw a gutter ball, that's what I'm going to teach you. You will never throw a gutter ball if you follow, or if you even take a little bit of what I'm going to teach you in section 2 of today's call. So a couple of my other favorite ones are, this is probably one of my biggest favorites, is reframe your failure as feedback. You know, I have a pretty good closing ratio, but I don't win them all. I don't close them all. I'd be a liar if I said I did. But all I do is reframe all of my failure as good feedback. I just take it on the chin and move on. I'm like, okay, cool. On to the next. I'm kind of like a goldfish. Like Joe knows we kind of have to have that in golf, but I'm total goldfish in this world because maybe it's just I've been doing it for so long, 14 years, but I'm total goldfish. I'm like, all right, whatever, on to the next, because it is an abundant world right now. And if it doesn't feel so abundant and if it feels a little sketchy, if it feels like some of your listings aren't moving, we gotta change that. And that brings me to my next one, is surround yourself with growth-oriented people. The fact that you guys are on this call is great because it's St. Patty's Day weekend. I'm sure a lot of people went out partying, horsing around, things like that. But the fact that you're in RocketFuel, you're in this community, you're on the right track. That's your first step to going in the right direction. Being a top listing agent is surrounding yourself with growth-oriented people as well. That will help you move on. Okay. My last one, I'm gonna just skip a few of them because I think this is the essence of what I do that I think makes me good. Not to toot my own horn, but I'm really good. I'm really good at listing appointments. I'm really good at closing people, but it's because I made a shift in my mindset about 2019, yeah. And by then I had spent roughly 8 or 9 years doing generally the same old thing, which I would bet a lot of you do the same old thing. And here's what I mean. You take your professional photos, you do your video tour, hopefully you do your Instagram, cool little dancing video, and then you go live on the MLS. And then you wait for showings, and maybe you do some open houses, and maybe you do some direct mail. But you don't really actually rethink the way to market and sell homes. There's a better way, and I'm going to show you a better way today. Probably stuff that you've literally never heard before. I would be shocked if you heard all of this before. So that brings me to my favorite point before we get to the meat and potatoes, is commit to lifelong learning. I was really guilty of this for a long time. I sold hundreds of houses without ever changing my process because I was good. I was like, yeah, I'm good. I show up on time. I'm a pretty good closer. I know to order my professional photos. I know how to price homes. I know the importance of taking a video. I know I got to do some open houses. Yeah, I'm good. But I wasn't a lifelong learner. And when you do it that way, you get better. Here's a better example. If anybody on this call likes cars, okay? Let's say your favorite car is, I don't know, whatever, BMW or something. BMW doesn't make the same model every year, year after year. They make the car better. Otherwise, you're not going to buy it. So my favorite analogy for you is your next listing that you close, you should look at it this way. You should do a full debrief on your listing, write down all the wins you had, all the challenges you had, and use that to figure out how to make your next listing better. Make the next model of your car better. And some of you may have never done that for years. I know, because I've been doing this a long time. I went years and years without ever taking to stop and really stopping and thinking, okay, cool. I closed that listing. I got a 5-star review. On to the next. Or I could think, was it really 5-star? Did I really do everything I could? Or is there something along the lines? Is there some process that I could make better? Is there some way I could make the next client's experience better? Is there some way I could identify buyers a little bit quicker? Is there some better way I could market the home or show those? Is that kind of making sense, guys? You got to commit to lifelong learning. And I say that because I did. I went a long time. I sold a crap ton of houses and I never paused and debriefed all of them along the way and figured out what I could do better. Okay. So let's get to my next point. This is kind of what it looks and feels like to be on an appointment with me at a 30,000 foot level. And I'm going to show you, and team leaders, this is a great way to teach you guys, your agents, how to go into an appointment. Individual solo agents, this is a great way to like punch back against the big powerhouses that are like, I'm the so-and-so team that sold 1,000 homes. If you use some of these tactics, I think you can beat the top or the neighborhood specialists or the crusty old agent who's been doing it 30 years in the neighborhood, right? Or the big powerhouse team. Okay. So this is there are sections to my listing, my seller strategy appointment. Okay. If you're going to write these down, here are all of the sections on what I go through. And then I'm going to tell you how they look and feel and give you some really good talk tracks to use when you're in the appointment. And then we'll close out today's call with how I do marketing to get new listings. Okay, so number one is the pregame. Number one is a pregame. Number two is discovery. Number three is called market mastery. And I'm saying these, you can write them down and then take notes along the way because this is a quick call. Number four is the moneymaker. It's called the personal game plan. Number five is the meticulosity walkthrough. And number six is the commitment. Okay. So the pregame is where you explain what you're there to do and why, and you reduce your seller's anxiety because many people go into the house and you say, hey, I'm so excited to be here. If you're a top agent, maybe you bring them a gift, a bottle of wine, a candle, a cookie, or something like that. And you do your hellos and you go right into your walkthrough, don't you? I know a lot of you guys do that. You jump right into your walkthrough, yet you don't really know what's in the seller's head. They have all these questions. Is Joe's commission 6%? What's he going to do? How long is it going to take? What kind of questions is he going to have? Is my house ready? Are we going to talk about cash offers? What about the market? Like a seller doesn't really know what you're going to do before you come to the house. You have to remember that. They have no idea unless they've interviewed other agents. And even then, they still don't know. So the pregame is to sit down first. I go into the house, I sit down with them, and I explain why I'm there, what it's going to look and feel like, and what they're going to get. I usually say, know, have, feel. You're going to know exactly what's going on in the market so you can make a really good decision. You're going to have all of the information that's relevant to your home and how to sell it for top dollar. And you're going to feel really good about today's appointment. You're going to feel really confident that you can sell your home, whether you and I decide to work together. You're going to feel really good about navigating the market and making a choice. Whether we go with the cash offer, our market price offer, you're going to feel really good. Okay, so know, have, feel. And after that, I'm like, basically, I tell them, hey, this is my shortest, quickest version of how I say it. I say, hey, this is what we're going to do. It's quick, it's easy. You don't have to worry about sprucing up your house or anything. It'll take me about 20 or 30 minutes. Then we're going to do a walkthrough. I'm going to take my notes and then we'll sit down and we'll decide, figure out a game plan. Okay, so the reason I do a pregame is to feel them out a little bit, but also kind of reduce their anxiety because a lot of them don't know. They don't know what you're there for. They're just like, hey, great, I'll see you at 2 o'clock. So slow down, give them a pregame. Number two, discovery. Next thing is when I ask the questions. Okay, Lori, What's got you thinking about possibly selling your home? What's got you thinking about possibly selling your home? And then I dig in and ask them. All of this is before I've done like a walkthrough or anything. I sit down and I connect. I also like to sit adjacent to them. I don't like to sit across from them. Across from them feels like I'm opposing them, like an opposing counsel in a law firm. So I love to try and sit on the couch where I'm kind of like side by side, or if it's a table, I will take the corner chair and I'll just sit. I'll have a very open, welcoming posture. I will be upright. I won't be slouched over. I will be friendly but confident. All of that matters. My body language. I'm so strategic about all this stuff. And I'll sit and ask you, say, Lori, tell me what your situation is. What's got you thinking about possibly selling your house? And then we're going to dig in. If you're really good at discovery, you'll find out everything you need to know about them. And then you can create a personal game plan on the section 4 that appeals to them, that makes them feel good, and it closes them. Okay. Market mastery is the next section. A lot of my competition, because I see this, comes in with some NAR RPR report that's 50 pages or some CMA that has like 30 comps on it. That sucks. Nobody wants to go through that. I'm sorry, but RPR is a waste of time. Sorry, I'm going to tell it to you right now. Do you really want to look through that? If somebody comes to your house, do you want to look through a 50-page report or all this? No, you just want to know what your home is worth in an easy way to follow. So I created a sheet. I will give this sheet to you guys if you want it, which is called Strategic Comps. It's really pretty. It's really easy to use. And what it looks like is it has a section to put 3 properties, just 3. That's it. That's all I need. My top 3 properties, and we're going to compare them to the subject property. And what I'm doing there is I'm making it really easy, just one piece of paper that I will go through. And I'm not just going to show the seller the comps. I'm going to teach them stuff. I'm going to show them how knowledgeable I am about what I'm doing. Because my competition is going to say, okay, here's all the comps. Here's the average price per square foot. Here's what this one sold for. Here's what this one sold for. Kind of put you in this range. Is that kind of what you're thinking? That's what you all say. That is not what I say. I say, okay, Joe, here's what we're going to do. I went out and I got you insider information, and I've got 3 properties that are going to tell some stories today. And we're going to learn, Joe, we're going to learn what works and what doesn't work. And we're going to learn exactly how to sell your home. Okay. Are you with me? So say, yeah. So my 3 comps that are laid out there, I have the information like the price, the square footage, but I also have a section that has like additional information. And I write down all the stuff I found out. I've called those listing agents and I asked them what was their strategy, how many showings did they get, how many offers did they get, what worked, what didn't work, so I can tell that story. So my goal here is to show the sellers a couple of things. How to price their home, what works, what doesn't work, because usually I will pick one that worked really well where I'm like, okay, Joe, this one was on the market for 21 days. They listed at 700. They got 700. They closed with a VA loan. They gave 3% in seller concessions. I called the agent. This was their strategy. Boom. And I will also show them something that didn't work. I will say, okay, Joe, here's another one. This one listed at 775. They ended up selling at 675. It took them 130 days on the market. And you'll notice they didn't have any professional photos. They didn't have a video tour. And Joe, when I called that listing agent, I asked them what their specific strategy was to market and sell homes. And they didn't really give me anything other than they just, they picked a price, they put in the MLS. Okay. So when I'm in market mastery, I'm showing them basically what works, what doesn't work, and I'm telling the stories. And what I want them to understand, and guys, this takes me 6 weeks to teach, so I'm really speeding it up for you. But the idea is stop doing what old school brokers did 20 years ago. Stop bringing 50 pages of comps. Bring them 3 really important properties. Do your research, find out the insider information, and use those stories to teach your sellers what really works. Okay.
So
Nobody wants to look at all of this extra crap. And my sellers love this. They're always like, this is so easy. And I look at what you guys bring. I see what my competition brings, and it's this folder of all this stuff. I'm like, dude, I got 1 page. This 1 page is going to change exactly how you look at real estate, Joe. You've sold 2
yeah,
homes before. Well, let me tell you why this 1 page is going to take us exactly where we need to go. These are the things that I say. I'm like, Joe, this one page is going to take us exactly where we need to go. It's going to teach you stuff that other realtors won't teach you. And it's going to allow you and I to create a personal game plan on how to get your home sold because your neighbors already tested the market. We're not going to guess, Joe. Here's what we're going to do. Okay. And
Yeah.
this is how I take people through. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, people are digging this a lot. This is going to save me a fortune on printing CMAs.
Yeah.
I think that's awesome. So, guys, I would love to see in the chat if anyone can tell me 80% of sellers pick one very specific type or reason for selecting their realtor. Can anyone tell me 80% of sellers who they end up going with? Because they like him. Ken got it. So you're going to win 80% of the listing appointments for which you are the first real estate agent. What Alex is teaching is the second most important factor in selecting a real estate agent. So the first one is be the first to meet there. Can anyone tell me why they cite the second reason of who they selected? So the first reason, the 80% of them pick the first person they meet with. What is the number two factor? Referral, confidence, trust, make it simple, likability, process, a lot of things. Let them talk. Love that, Anthony. The number two reason people pick their real estate agent is because they feel like their real estate agent has demonstrated exactly what Alex is showing you guys. They have a plan. Like so they do these national, what's the right word? Surveys. Why did you pick your real estate agent? 80% of people go, well, I met with Alex first and he had a plan. Now, even if our plan, if you guys remember Sharon's like simple listing framework, is just like take a picture of yourself with a whiteboard with their address up there, text it to them ahead of time, like, Amy, I can't wait to come and take a look at your property. Here's my plan for selling. So number one, fight to be first. And then number two, have a freaking plan when you get there. And that's what I love about what Alex is showing. If you can do one and two, and then mix in number three, which is it seemed simple, like that's how you're going to crush it. So Alex, do you fight to get that first appointment? Is that a big thing for you?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I always want to get in. And then like Joe said, I mean, sellers want speed, safety, and certainty. That's what every seller wants. They want speed, safety, and certainty. They don't want to have their time wasted. They want certainty that you will sell their house. And they want to feel safe. Like Joe said, they want a game plan. When I'm doing my market mastery, and guys, usually it's an hour for me to teach just market mastery. Okay. You're getting it in like 5 minutes. When I sit with you for market mastery, you're like, wow, nobody's broken down for me the reason my neighbor's home sold for 3 months other than it was overpriced. Nobody took the time to really like tell the story and then use that knowledge to teach me. I'm there to teach my sellers. I'm there to educate them and not just throw some comps at them and speed through it because I'm so excited to sign my listing. I'm going to pre-close you on market mastery. And then the next step is called the personal game plan, where I have a calendar. I have a 30-day calendar. I'm going to build out your 30-day calendar. And here's where I will beat all of you guys. Here's where I will crush all of you guys. It's just confidence. That's the confidence you guys have to have. And I want you to go into an appointment like that as well. It's not cocky or an ego. It's confidence that I know I have something better to help these people. And here's where the personal game plan comes in. I'll say, Joe, you mentioned you've sold a couple of houses before. Now, in those cases, I'm assuming you hired a top agent. I want us to look at all of this stuff from the point of view of a top agent. Now, hoping your top agent did this before, which was professional photos, videos, maybe some open houses, direct mail. Let's say he's like, yeah, I think you did some of the stuff. And so, Joe, it sounds like you guys, your process started when a sign came up and you went on the MLS. Is that correct? He's going to say, yeah. Say, so Joe, before MLS, did you ever have any marketing done, any showings, anything like that? He's going to say no. I'm going to say, well, Joe, that's what I want to share with you next is a personal game plan on how to identify buyers before we even have a sign up, before we even on the MLS, how to work to actually sell your house potentially off market and really bring you something more than just a sign, photos, MLS, and Zillow. Are you with me? Yeah. I'm gonna say, Joe, every top agent starts here and they do a good job, but I'm gonna start here. Here, there you guys can see. I'm gonna start here. Here's what I mean. They take their photos, they put you on the MLS, maybe they use coming soon, and then their job starts when they're on the MLS. Joe, my job will start today. I'm gonna show you how I do that. My job will start today by actually finding real buyers for your house as soon as I leave your home. And so what I do is I create that on a calendar. I also have a document um, for Catherine, I think said, I actually have a personal game plan document where it will allow you guys to write out a personal game plan on like a big arrow timeline. If you guys would like a copy of that, I will give you a copy of that as well. So here's what I mean. The personal game plan is where I do all of my pre-marketing stuff before the MLS. So that eliminates the question, well, what do you really do that's different? Because he said, Joe, or, Amy said she can do it for 1%. Well, they're all going to put a sign up. They're all going to put it in the MLS, right? So here are some of the things that I do, okay? I'll give you guys a quick run through because I do want to do a little bit of the marketing stuff, but what I do is I write on my personal game plan, and I basically have a pre-market period for about 1 week, 7 to 10 days, where I'm marketing directly to agents and buyers. And here's what I do. I take the listing, I create a little Dropbox with some photos. I have like a highlight sheet of like the specs on it, like 3 bedroom, 2 bath, 1,500 square feet, back to the common area, whatever it is. And you know where I take that and I send that little marketing Dropbox? First, I send it to about 200 to 300 realtors in the area that have sold homes before. And I use a system called Hit 'em Up, or I use email. And I text it to them, and you'll get an email like, "Hey Amy, I've got this house coming soon. It's in whatever, Henderson. It's going to be priced around 650 to 700. It meets these criteria. If you have a client that fits that, let me know." Jacqueline, you're allowed to pre-market stuff as long as you don't use an address. I don't use an address. So I probably have the same laws as you. As long as I don't use an address, I can say I have a potential property that might be hitting the market in a few weeks. I can't give you the address, but I'll give you the specs on it, and you're allowed to do that, at least in Arizona. I can't put the address, otherwise it violates clear cooperation.
In
Number
Canada.
2, I send it to mortgage lenders. I send it to my top 20 mortgage lenders, and I ask them to send it to their database. Let's say Heidi is a mortgage lender. I send it to you and say, Heidi, send this to you. It's a Henderson property. It's 600. Send it to everybody in your database that's pre-qualified and that's shopping, that's looking in this price range. So these are just a couple of the things that we teach that I can show the sellers that I'm doing. There's a lot of stuff. So again, trust me, I always get people that argue with me about clear cooperation. I've been doing this for years. I've never once gotten fined because I don't put the address. This is where you guys got to think a little bit differently. Yes, there's rules, but you can't limit yourself in these little boxes. Just don't put the address. I'm allowed to call Joe. I'm like, Joe, I think I might have a house coming soon. Can't tell the address, but it's in this area. I think it's going to be in this price range. If you have somebody, let me know. That's perfectly legal. Show me how you can find me for that. At least in Arizona, you can't. We have pretty strict clear cooperation, okay? So on the personal game plan doc, I'm showing them all of these things. And those are just 2 of the 7 things that I outlined that I do before all of the other top agents have started. So if you're a seller and you're sitting with me, and all the other top agents' pitches are about how many homes have sold, how many 5-star reviews they have, all their professional photography, I'm like, dude, I do all that stuff. But what about other than the MLS? What's their system for marketing and showing and selling homes before you get on the MLS? Because I can do a private off-market showing for you with no sign, no lockbox, no MLS. I can bring potential buyers through your house on a day and time that you pick for 2 hours. Private opportunity with real vetted buyers. I can include cash buyers as well. Would that be helpful? Yeah, right? Before anybody else has even done anything, before there's a sign in the yard. And can I do that legally? Of course I can. I am allowed to do that. So those are some of the things. Again, this is meant to be like a 6-week course, but when you guys see the personal game plan doc that I will give to you, it'll make sense. If you just read it, you'll be like, oh, I get it. That you can write on there, you can establish timelines. So the close, before I get to a little bit of marketing, because I promised Angie will do a little bit of marketing, but where I close you on the personal game plan is there's a section at the bottom right. It'll say date to review cash offers, date to go coming soon, date to go live, date to review on market offers. So I'll say, Joe, today is March 17th. Would March 27th be a good day to start reviewing cash offers? Yeah, that'd work. This is before I've even been asked if he wants to work on anything and say, okay, Joe, so after that, assuming we don't go with any of those cash offers, then we might, how about March 28th? Would that work to do a VIP off-market first look for some of those buyers that we're going to dig up before we even go on the MLS? Remember, Joe, this is before like the nosy neighbors start knocking and it's on Zillow. This is all before anybody else has started. Could we knock off March 28th from 4 to 6 p.m. for a VIP off-market tour with just qualified buyers and maybe some brokers that have clients? Yeah, I think that would work. I'm closing Joe before he even knows it. You guys see how I'm doing that? Does that make sense? And the personal game plan document allows you to follow all of this. It's like bowling with bumpers. You just right there on the game plan. And that's kind of how I do it. So again, there's a lot to this. I'm trying to speed it up, but there's last two sections, the meticulosity walkthrough. It's actually super important. One of my favorite questions to ask the sellers is, Joe, can I ask you a question that most agents fail to ask their sellers that often costs people tens of thousands of dollars? He's going to say, sure. Say, Joe, tell me about this house. Tell me something about this house that I can't find online, that I couldn't share with just photos, and something that drew you to buying this house. And maybe it's the school district, Joe. Maybe it's the gym nearby. Maybe it's the farmer's market. Maybe it's the hiking trails. Joe, I want to know about the peripherals because that's how I'm going to tell the story and that's how I'm going to sell your home is by understanding that there's more than just the square footage. And I'm sure that you bought this house for more than just the square footage and the size, right? And Joe's gonna be like, well, yeah, we bought it for the school. That's a really good trigger question. I hope you guys wrote that down. Can I ask you a question that most agents fail to ask that often costs sellers thousands of dollars, which is true. Agents don't really care anymore. I think this is my personal opinion. Agents are more focused on like looking cool on Instagram than actually being a professional and understanding what we do at a high level. And that means that
Well,
there's a lot more that there's a lot more to being a listing agent than just the square footage or the granite counters. It's I want to know about the peripherals. And when you speak like that to a seller, it resonates with them. They're like, well, we love to take our kids to the aquatic center and the schools are really good. Okay, awesome. Anything else, right? That's called talking about the peripherals. And that's really understanding the product you're trying to sell at a deeper level. Most people just skip that because they're too busy with their RPR and their CMA and their comps and things like that. So
well, and the way a lot of listing agents will do this is I'll go to Susanna's house and I'll say, Susanna, here's the bad way. Susanna, just so I'm aware, what issues are there with the property that we may run into when selling the property? So I'm like, hey, tell me about your crappy house. Like, I don't know where we got the idea that that was a great way to approach our listings. Now, imagine I go, Susanna, I don't know what in the world you've done, but this place is amazing. You obviously made a fantastic choice buying this house. So walk me through that process of like, how'd you get this place? How did you find it? And all of a sudden, what I've done is I've validated Susanna's life decision to buy this house. I validated the care and attention she's given to her house. Like that's something we should all be very cautious of is we're like, hey, like I'm taking notes. Just tell me kind of what the issues are. Where does it smell like pee? Where did your kids burn the carpet? You know, it's like, why would you want to take someone down? It's like going on a first date and saying like, hey, why'd your last girlfriend dump you? Like that's not, no one wants to talk about that. But it's like, this place is amazing. Susanna, you did such a great job. You've obviously crushed it with the upgrades you've done, but talk to me about how you ever got it. And just tell me that story, right? And like Alex said, it may be the park, it may be the farmer's market, it may be the whatever. I don't care what you say. What I care is how you feel. Because if I can validate your decision and justify all the amazing things you've done, then when you think about me, you think about positivity. You think about how I made you feel, not the negative things that you had to go through. So then the question, how do you ask when the house was a really bad investment? So that's a great question. I would still go positive. I'd say, hey, tell me a little bit about how you acquired this place. What do you love about it? What blah, blah, blah. And then if anyone's going to get negative, I let you do it. Like, I don't want to be the one who's like, hey, obviously you're kind of in a pickle here. How'd you screw this one up? I don't know why that would ever be a decision like that. That's the way we ask that question. But go ahead, Alex. We got
No, I
four or
love
five
that.
minutes left.
We will we'll have to probably jump on again sometime. I mean, there's a lot to this. I'm sure you guys are left with a lot of questions. But let me just kind of close on this note. So what I'm going to gift you guys, because I love Joe and Amy, and you're part of our world. I will gift you guys the personal game plan document, which is gold. Nobody else will have it. I will give you guys the strategic comps. So those two sheets right there, those two, nobody else in your market will have it unless they have paid for and taken my class, which was $1,000 class that I sold last year. $1,000 for 6 weeks. I'm giving you guys these documents for free because I love Joe and Amy and you're in the right group. So, and I think I don't know, a lot of people took that class. So guys, what I'm going to leave you with is there's a lot here. There's a lot to unpack. We could do this again, but what I'd like you to unpack is think about the way that you market homes differently, meaning there's more you can do than the MLS. Like, get creative, send your properties to lenders, send them out to agents, like do more. Think in your head, what if my seller sits down and is like, hey, Alex, what have you done for me other than the MLS Zillow open house? What did you actually do? Think about that deeply. Write down. There's so much more that you can do. And also, I didn't even get to how I show homes because guess what? I don't show homes the normal way, which is like 1 hour, a line showing, show it in an hour. Yes, I use lock boxes, but I don't even show homes the same. My whole system for showing homes is completely different because I think the way we show homes sucks. It's super inconvenient. If you, like right now, I'm teaching Zoom call. If I had a traditional agent as my listing agent, they're going to call and text me, be like, hey, Alex, can we show your house at 11 o'clock? Like, dude, I don't know. You mean in an hour? You want me to get up in an hour? What if I work from home? Like, there's a lot of different things. So what I leave you with is, guys, think different, be a maverick, be creative. And if you can learn all of this stuff that I've taught you and you can learn how to package that, post it on social media, post it on YouTube, get direct mail out and share that kind of messaging, it will resonate more with sellers. And we could do a whole other topic on coaching and getting more deals, but we're short on time. But hopefully that was helpful, guys. I'll give you those documents to use. But my challenge is think different, be different, and you will close more. You will get more appointments, and you'll actually sell homes. I think that a seller, if an agent came to me and they're like, "All right, here's how I'm going to get your house legitimately in front of buyers other than the MLS," I'm like, "Wow, this is awesome." So
Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot of directions we can go. Hope you guys like this class.
Alex, are you offering your listing mastery course anytime soon? A couple of people are asking.
Yeah, I'll probably launch it again this year. For now, I'll give you guys, and again, I got a busy Monday, so bear with Joe and Amy. I probably won't get them the docs till like later today.
You want to know what? Don't even worry about it. You have all week because we will share the files with you guys next Monday. So come
Perfect.
next Monday, and we'll get that from Alex. Do you know that our speaker next Monday, you guys, had the highest turnout rate of all of our sessions in out of Q3 and 4. She is an absolute killer and you're not going to want to miss it. She has not shared her topic with me yet. So but I know it's going to be good. And we had the highest attendance that we ever had last fall when she spoke. Alex, this was so good. So good.
Awesome.
Like
awesome.
the chat.
Yeah,
liked it.
what I love about it is we can get super tactical, guys. But if all you're ever trying to do is memorize someone else's tactics, in moments of pressure, it will fall apart.
Yeah.
And so what I love is Alex is trying to teach principles. And so it's like there is a principle and then there'll be a few tactics that go along with it. And one of the principles he shared, which is the bedrock of everything Taylor and I have built, is try to do what you know everyone else could do, but talk about it in a way that they are not comfortable talking about it. Yeah. One great example is Craig Proctor, the great American, like my second favorite Canadian, Amy obviously being the first.
Better be your second.
Craig Proctor taught Taylor and I, like, you know, I run a marketing system and it's, I'll sell your home in 30 days or I'll buy it myself. And there's such a gag reflex we have as realtors. We're like, dude, I'm not going to start buying everybody's houses. He's like, you're not going to buy any houses. The principle is they're going to feel so comfortable listing with you because they know they're not trapped and they have an out. And so it's like, I love what Alex is teaching, which is do what everybody else can do, but just say it in a way that no one else is saying it. Think outside the box, think creatively, put yourself in the shoes, not of Mike Ferry or Tom Ferry memorized script, but put yourself in the shoes of the seller and you showing up first and having a plan for them. But when you have that plan, don't show up with a book and be like, hey, here's my plan for your house. Show up with a one sheet. Say, here's step one, here's step two, here's step three. Yeah.
It's so much more powerful,
malleable. Yeah.
And you guys, I have all the pretty, like I have this stuff. I have the pretty stuff. Like I have the very, very pretty stuff that I will leave you, not you, but I leave my clients. But when you create that game plan on the fly with them, it's more real, it's more legit, it's more genuine, and you're actually like doing your job. You're creating a game plan to sell their house. It's not some scripted, same crap every single house. So the personal game plan, create it on the fly, build it with them, interact with them, and they feel like, wow, this was actually catered to me, not just another agent's random pitch, generic pitch, right? But I wanted to let you know, don't worry, I have my pretty swag. I have all my pretty stuff that I can leave you that any top agent would. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Had a great time here as always. And yeah, hopefully we'll do it again.
Guys, make sure you blow up social media. Let's get this guy all the accolades that he deserves from how awesome this was. And we will see you next Monday, exact time, exact place, 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern time, Monday, Rocket Fuel. Have the best day, you guys.
Thank you guys. Have a great day.